Hey Sweetwater, my name is OP. I'm the Artist Relations Manager for Serato, and I'm here today to talk to you about an amazing mixer that works specifically for Serato DJ Pro. That is the Rane 72 mixer. This thing is incredible. It's so detailed with so many different moving pieces and parts and features and effects. We're going to talk about some of the top line stuff here, just to kind of get your appetite wet so you can go out and call your sales engineer and purchase this thing and be in the club, on the road, on tour, and killing it with this mixer. So let's talk about some of the beginning parts. The first part is the screen here on the mixer. This screen gives you real-time information of what's happening directly inside of Serato DJ Pro. So here I have the waveforms for the two tracks that are on the decks that I'm playing for. And as I start to cut and scratch, I can see the waveform moving exactly in the same way. Just like it is inside the computer screen, it's happening right here. And when I go to play and backspin, it's right there happening in the same amount of time. That's really incredible. Part of the reason why is that you can leave the computer to the side, still have the power of the computer, but now be able to connect with your audience instead of having a computer in front of you. You want to be able to have that emotional connection with your audience, and sometimes that can be hindered if you're not able to see them directly. This allows you to be able to look really quickly and then be in front with your crowd. Now, you have the ability to do some really cool things with the screen. Let's talk about some of those. So the first thing is that as it's playing, I can pinch on the screen to change the view of the waveform. So if I want to kind of zoom in and get really close on the waveform, I can do that, and I can then kind of pinch back in again, and that will then kind of compress the waveform, and I can see more of it happening, right? I can see my cue points that are there, and as I press on them, you'll see the color of the waveform, which is the same color on your mixer, and then it's moving automatically on the screen. You have the ability to needle search, which means that you can search or scroll through the track to get to the place that you want to be, and then start playing from that point, which is really cool. You can look at the time of the track, either by the amount of time that is left in the song or the time that you've gone into the song. So right now I'm about 25 seconds into this track, and here when I switch it back over, because this is a short track, I have about 40 seconds left. So I can look at it in either way. It gives you the key of the track. So here I'm in 9A if I'm using the Camelot wheel, and I can have it where when I press on it, I can key sync two tracks together. If I'm playing two tracks that are in different key, I can have the two of those key sync together so they're playing harmonically well together. And I can also sync two tracks as well. So if I press sync here, if there were two different tracks with different BPMs, then I can make sure that those BPMs are going to be matched up and working really well. I can also press shift to turn sync off, and then it's good to go. So again, you can do a lot of things here with the screen, both visually, but then also by touch as well. You also have the option to view your library. So I'm gonna press the menu button here, and now I'm looking at the crate inside of Serato right here in the screen. So if I use the encoder knob here, I can scroll through and find a track to play. So I'm gonna press this one here and play that. And when I press the menu button again, now I'm back into the screen where I can see everything that's happening with the waveform as I'm playing. Right? So again, a lot of stuff you can look at on the screen very quickly to be able to maneuver, manipulate, make things work, right? If I want to look at the effects, then I'll press the effects button. And with the effects button, I can look at the way the effects are set up. Now I'm on this Rane 12 here, so on channel 1, I have the flex effect, which is on for the echo. And if I turn that echo on using the effects paddle, you can hear it, and I can actually change the rate of the effect there. And this is also post fader, so then if I pull down the volume fader or the cross fader, move it over, you'll still get the trail off on it, which is really great. So there are a bunch of different effects that you can get to that are internal for the flex effects. So if I press on the echo here on the screen and I press down on this encoder knob, I can scroll through, and there's a bunch of them. Echo, hold echo, duck echo, reverb, filter, phaser, gate, flanger, delay, ping pong, and breaker. So you have a lot of options to be able to make some effects happen. So With that being said, I also have the Serato built-in effects as well. So I have the option to do single effects or multi-effects. And I have multi-effects that are set up here. So I have an echo, a flanger, and an echo out that's already set. I'm gonna add on this flanger. And now I have the echo and the flanger working at the same time, which is kind of nice. And if I want to, again, I can pull out because I have the echo for the flex effect on, so I can do that post fader kind of style dropout, and it's pretty cool. If I want to, I can have all four of these chained together. So I can have a big, massive chained effect going on at the same time. You might want to be careful about that depending upon what effector you're using. It might be a little crazy, but if you do something creative, it can be a lot of fun. The effects here are two separate engines, which means that there's an engine that's working on this side and an engine working on this side. So I could have, let's say, an echo on for the flex effect, and then also have a reverb on for this side. So whatever I'm doing on this side is separate, this side is separate. There are other mixers that are on the market that are similar to this, but don't have separate effects engines. They only have one, which means that when you choose an effect, you're using it on both sides. This allows you to have that separation, which is really cool. You also have touch effects. With touch effects, when I press this, now I have an XY pad here that I can do filtering, and in this case, echo at the same time. So this allows you to really kind of play with the music and get your hands on it and manipulate it in a way that can be really fun and make the crowd react in a really positive way. Pretty cool, right? Also, talking about separate engines and kind of separate sides, you also have that for the pad layout here. So you have performance pads. You have cues, auto loops, rolls, sampler, slicer, but also with the second press for each of these, you also have pitch play, manual loop, pad effects, fader effects, and transport. We're not gonna go through all of them because it's a lot to cover, but we'll go through a couple. So here, in this instance, I can go with the cue points. And on this side here, I'm gonna load the same track up. So I double clicked on the encoder knob to get it to play, and you saw that it automatically started running, which is pretty cool. And it's in time, right? So I'm gonna go here to pitch play, and here I can start to change the key of the cue point while I'm playing. And if I want to change that cue point, I can hold down Shift and then choose the cue point that I want to react. So I'm going to do this one here. Right? This side is still on cue. So if I want this side here, so really great what I just did there. This side's on cue points, keeping it in the same key. This side is doing pitch play, re-triggering the cue point, but also changing the key as I'm doing it. This makes for a lot of great performance options as you're DJing. For you battle style DJs, this is gonna open up the door for you to do a lot of things. Even for club DJs and touring DJs, you'll be able to manipulate the tracks that you're playing and make the crowd go crazy. So again, the pads are really great. They feel really strong. They come from the same line of the Akai family, so they're gonna feel really reactive and strong and punchy. So you'll be able to get the most out of them. The crossfader is incredible. It's the new Mag 3 crossfader by Rane. It's super smooth. You can cut back and forth thousands upon millions of times. Super strong. You'll never break this thing. It sounds really clean. And the same thing with the volume faders as well. There's also the option to have two computers here. So as you see, I have a setup for two computers. So here, if I switch this over, now whatever track is playing on this computer can start to play. So you hear sound coming from that computer. And then when I want to switch back over to my computer, I can literally just move it back over, and now I have it there. And you see it actually picked up in the same place where I had it last in the track. So again, having that crossover is great. If you're playing with another DJ, you can literally switch over without having to unplug something, talk on the mic, keep people's attention while you're trying to keep things moving. Literally just a switch of a knob and you're in business and you're making it happen. A few other really quick things about this. You have 2 combo jacks that are here on the back of the mixer. And these combo jacks are for mics. So you can do both an XLR and a 1/4 inch to be able to input in. And you also have an echo, which is available here on the mic. So if you want to turn on the echo effect, you can do so and have your voice echo if you need to with it. You want to go deeper into the menu of things. You can do shift and then press the menu here. And now you get to the main menu with a bunch of different settings. The mixer settings go really deep. You can change the way that the output works. The deck settings if you're working with regular turntables. The filter setup, which is really great because you can change the amount of resonance for each of the filters on each channel, and also the filter on the sampler. Which is pretty cool. Everybody knows what the air horn is. You've heard it plenty of times. You also have the option to change the pad setup, the headphones, mics, a bunch of different things. We're not gonna go into it because we can be here for hours talking about it. But know that you can customize this mixer to work the way that you want it to work, so that every time you plug up, you're back into the way that you like it to feel and work and flow. So this is the Rane 72 mixer. This mixer is incredible. We talked about some of the kind of top level things, but it gets really, really deep. And once you get deep into this mixer and figure out all that it does, you can shape it to work the way that you want it to work every single time. When you're in the club, you're on the road touring, you're at your festivals, whatever the case may be, your DJ battles, you can make this mixer your own. Make sure that you talk to your Sweetwater sales engineer about pricing for this mixer and get it right away. Once again, my name is OP, Artist Relations Manager for Serato, and I'll see you next time.